Yeah. Alrighty. So this is going to be SCP readings for anomalous items 401 through 450. And away we go. All right. Anomalous items 401 through 410. Item description. A Polaroid photograph of a common sunflower that gives those who view it a sense of nostalgia, regardless of if they have seen a sunflower or a Polaroid photograph in their life. Date of recovery 04/16/2002. Location of recovery a thrift shop in Manchester, New Hampshire. Current status framed in Dr. Blank's office. Item description a framed photograph of SCP 173 in its containment chamber. The image shows SCP 173 teleporting around its chamber, regardless of if someone is viewing it or not. The object also remains unchanged if SCP 173 is out of its containment chamber. Date of recovery blank. Location of recovery pawn shop in blank blank. Current status in storage at Site 19. Item description a that's easy button that, when pressed, plays the sound expected, except the point of origin is 2 feet above the button itself. Date of recovery 04 blank. Why even include a date? Location of recovery a Staples brand store located in blank, Maryland. Current status in storage. Scratched. Currently in possession of researcher. Item description a metal fishing hook that, when submerged in any kind of liquid, pull a tiny old leather boot. The subject that placed the hook in the water will say, "Damn it, not again," upon seeing the boot. Caught boot will disappear 2 days after its date of manifestation. Location of recovery a bait and tackle shop in blank, Massachusetts. Current status in storage. Item description a stovepipe hat and fake beard, resembling those of American President Abraham Lincoln, makes those who wear it perfectly recite speeches from the aforementioned president. The subject's voice anomalously changes to what historians believe Abraham Lincoln sounded like. Location of recovery American History Museum in blank, Georgia. Current status in storage. Item description a shoebox diorama that alternates between a fantasy scene where a ragtag group of adventurers are fighting a dragon and a sci-fi scene where astronauts fight a giant alien. Paper cutouts of SCP-111 and SCP-1230-1 can be found in the fantasy scene, and paper cutouts of SCP-2006 in the form of Roman and SCP-811 dressed like an alien can be seen in the sci-fi scene. Interesting. Location of recovery suburban home in blank blank. Child use it for a project at their school. Current status in possession of researcher blank. Description a torn whoopee cushion that causes any person who sits on it to anomalously flatulate. Only living humans can activate its effect. Date of recovery 4/1 blank. Oh, sorry, 04/01 blank. Location of recovery joke prop store in blank blank. Current status in storage. Item description a 10-inch by 8-inch American flag that quietly plays the United States national anthem on the 4th of July. Music becomes louder when held and waved. Date of recovery 07/04 blank. Location of recovery. Why leave a P in? That doesn't make any sense. Uh, door. Current status placed in Site 19's break room. Item description a brick that disappears when thrown will appear near the person who threw it near the person who threw it 5 minutes later. Get some commas in there, man. Date of recovery 12/03 blank. Current status hasn't returned after blank test involving including its anomalous properties. Okay. Item description. A handmade drawn Mother's Day card anomalously says, Ooh, never mind. Sorry about that. A handmade drawn Mother's Day card that anomalously says, Love you, Mom, in a child's voice when opened. No sound devices are present in the card. If any mother reads the card or hears the voice message, they will become happy. Nebulous. Date of recovery 05/13/2012. Location of recovery blank, Louisiana. Current status in storage. Anomalous items 411 through 420. Item description. A living goldfish made entirely out of gold. It does not require food, but does require water to remain in an active state. In its active state, it swims around, interacting with whatever it's provided while in its space. In its inactive state, it looks like a gold model of a goldfish. Location of recovery blank, China. Current status currently owned by researcher blank. Should be owned, should be in the possession of. Item description. A wooden model of an M that completely convinces people it's a W when it's flipped over. Same effect applies when the W is turned over to make an M. Current status in storage. Okay. Item description. A small rubber bouncy ball that anomalously produces a cartoon point sound when it bounces off of any surface. The volume of the sound depends on the amount of force applied to the bounce of the ball. Location of recovery. Convenience store in Lynn, Massachusetts. Current status in storage. Item description. A fire extinguisher that contains an infinite amount soft marshmallow fluff rather than nitrogen or carbon dioxide. Date of recovery 07/18/2003. Location of recovery burnt down suburban home in blank blank. Current status in storage. Notes. On-site personnel are not to use this object as a candy machine. I get it, some people here really like marshmallow, but have some self-control, guys. The foundation isn't run by children. Site director blank. There's absolutely no reason that they shouldn't use it as a candy dispenser. It's really stupid. Item description. A folding chair that unfolds when put together and placed on the ground. Anyone who sits in the chair will feel obligated to fold it once they stand up. After anywhere from 10 to 20 attempts, subject will grunt and state, current status in storage. Item description. A stress ball in the shape of SCP-999. Object shows no anomalous properties besides the threat and information breach that it poses. Date of recovery 07/20/1990 blank. Location of recovery therapist's office in blank, Rhode Island. Current status in storage, scratched. Placed in site blank's break room. That is an incredible. Let me just actually. We're gonna take a second here. We're gonna see. Nope. This flushes. Oh. Let's see that more. Ah, that's unfortunate. No, but we definitely wanted to see if that was a real thing because that sounds amazing. All right. Item description. The cardboard box full of plastic grocery bags. If any white item weighing over 300 grams is placed inside one of the plastic bags, the bag's bottom will immediately tear, the objects inside falling to the ground. The bag usually waits until there are over 5 objects inside the tear, and even then, there is a delay until the carrier of the grocery bag is in motion. The bag will tear immediately upon motion if eggs are placed inside, even if they are the only object in the bag. Date of recovery 3/5/2019. Location of recovery a Walmart, Colorado, USA. Current status in storage at Site 19. Item description an Outback Steakhouse cardboard coaster. Any container containing any liquid that is placed on the coaster will inevitably fall over and spill, no matter how stable it is, if it is being held in place or if there's a lid on it. The coaster is immune to any damage a coaster of its type would normally receive from the spills. Date of recovery 11/18/2019. Location of recovery an Outback Steakhouse in Indiana, USA. Current status in storage. Item description. Item is a white wooden shed which cannot be captured by photographs or video recordings. Date of recovery 7/12/2008. Location of recovery Holly, Michigan, USA. Current status the item in question has been forcefully removed from its original property and transported to Site 56. It is currently used for containment of other logged anomalous items with support of its anomalous properties, using various CCTV cameras in its containment chamber. Okay. Item description. A rubber duck that anomalously transforms into a real duck for an hour at noon every day. The duck doesn't need anything to live and immediately turns back to a rubber duck at 1 o'clock p.m. Is it based on local time or what's the local time, GMT? Date of recovery, blank, blank, 2011. Look, format of that wrong. That should be in bold. Location of recovery, daycare in Rhode Island, USA. Current status, in animal containment at site blank. Anomalous items 421 through 430. Item description, a grandfather clock that makes anyone under the age of 60 feel like they're rapidly aging. No physiological anomalies have been noted. The only people under 60 who are immune to this anomalous effect are men who have grandchildren. Grandfather clock. Nice. All right. Nice and simple. Location of recovery antique store in blank, New York. Current status in storage. Item description a push pin that makes all information typed about it appear in superscript format. Date of recovery blank, blank, 2007. Location of recovery on the desk, Dr. blank. Current status on a bulletin board in the site blank break room. Note, well, at least we know that it's function, Dr. blank. Item description a laptop with exactly 1 pixel out on its screen. Every time it is reopened, the dead pixel will be in a completely different location on the screen. Anyone who sees this dead pixel will be immediately enraged and try to destroy the laptop, which has been proven on several cases to be indestructible. The way some of these sentences are formatted is just peculiar. Date of recovery 03/12/2000 blank. Location of recovery a Best Buy brand technology store in blank, Georgia. Current status in storage. Item description a Boston Terrier, Canis lupus familiaris, breed house dog, which exhibits the exact DNA as an extinct passenger pigeon. Egg. Topistus migratorius, despite possessing the traits and bodily functions as a canine. Date of recovery 23/9/2017. Location of recovery a Petco shop in Austin, Texas, USA. Current status used as researcher Bernal's emotional support animal. I don't understand how you would even find out that it has the DNA of a passenger pigeon. Item description a flag 10 centimeters in length, 5 centimeters wide, which changes its appearance depending on the prominent ethnicity of the holder. If there are two holders, it will assume the appearance of the flag of the prominent country between the two. Location of recovery blank, England. Current status in storage. Item description a bronze crucifix with a rope hanging on the back that cannot hang correctly on any wall, as it will always turn upside down upon being hung, phasing through anything that intervenes. The eyes of Jesus have been painted red, and the paint is unable to be removed. I mean, it didn't even indicate that it was a crucifix with Jesus on it until literally the last sentence. All right. Date of recovery 06/06, 2016. Location of recovery Eleanor Slater Hospital in Cranston, Rhode Island, on the wall above the bed of a recently deceased Satanist. Uh, Current status on the wall of Dr. Blank's office. Why wouldn't you just put it in storage? Whatever. Item just oh lovely. Item description: a 6-inch by 4-inch piece of cardboard folded in the style of birthday card with the text, "This is your happy birthday," written in thick black ink on the front facing side. When opened, will show the birthday of the person opening the card, and a small piece of white wrapped chocolate will fall out. If a person attempts to open the card a second time, the card will refuse to open until the person's birthday. If a person was to open the card on their birthday, okay, interesting. If a person was to open the card on their birthday, the text inside the card will read, "Happy birthday. Here is confetti." After which a small amount of confetti will drop out of the card, and the card cannot be opened until the following year. So it sounds like it's better to not open it on your birthday because chocolate is much more useful than confetti. Date of recovery 5/4/1946. Location of recovery blank, Germany. Current status decomposed as of 2/2/2007 at area blank. Item description: a box of Totino's Party pizza, full pepperoni. Pizza will remain frozen even after being baked in an oven or cooked in a microwave. Date of recovery 2011. Sorry, Lord. 21/11/2019. Location of recovery blank supermarket, San Bernardino, California. Current status eaten by sight blank Steph's pet dog after item fell on the floor of the breaker. Time of neutralization 1:09 p.m. 30/11/18. See, why did you change your date format in the two different date formats in the same item description? Gosh. Ugh. I would have just eaten it cold. I would have just eaten it frozen. Wouldn't have even cared. Item description: a wheel of cheddar cheese capable of telepathic speech with humanoids within a 5-meter radius. Deaf subjects, however, are incapable of hearing this item. Communication with this item is described as annoying or unbearable, with most subjects wishing to suspend the conversation after a few minutes. Date of recovery blank blank 1921. Location of recovery Dayton, Ohio, USA. Current status in storage, scratched. Destroyed when item was left near the site cafeteria, and deaf kitchen staff member Roseanne Blank unknowingly transferred it to the kitchen and began grating it. Item was reported to have screamed bloody murder by another kitchen staff member during this process. Item no longer exhibited anomalous properties after the incident and was cleared for consumption. Note, good riddance, researcher Blank. Item description: a blank brand black ink pen that, when used in writing, will cause the person using it to draw an S in the popular cool S style on a random part of the paper or document without knowing until writing. Date of recovery 2/12/2019. Location of recovery Blank High School, Connecticut. Current status in Dr. Blank's office desk. Anomalous items 431 through 440. Item description: a Funko Pop vinyl figure of Hulk Hogan with unblinking red human eyes. Terrifying. His appear human. Testing has revealed that they have the DNA of a human botfly, Dermatobia hominis. Date of recovery 06/20/2019. Location of recovery blank brand store in blank, New Hampshire. Current status in storage. Notes: I know we aren't supposed to neutralize anomalies for no apparent reason, but please let me kill that thing. Dr. Blank. That would be my thoughts on it. Item description: a 2-liter Pepsi bottle that contains infinite soda inside of it. That's amazing. Only I like Pepsi. does not appear to spoil. Bottle, along with the cap, are confirmed to be indestructible. No, I guess it would be bottle, just along with the cap. I don't know why you wouldn't just say the bottle and cap are confirmed to be. Date of recovery, 4/8/2007. Location of recovery, Site 18. Current status, in Site 18 cafeteria. Note, once again, we would like to apologize to all on-site janitors and the suffering they had to go through to clean this up. Dr. Blank didn't mean to knock it over and has already suffered the consequences for his actions. That's great. Item description, a 0.5 meter statue depicting the Virgin Mary from the Christian faith. Direct physical contact is made. The subject will experience auditory hallucinations of hymns commonly sung in Roman Catholic churches throughout the United States. Initial testing has concluded that the object's outer layer is effectively impermeable. I don't know how you would determine it's only the outer layer. But okay. Date of recovery, 3/27/2005. Location of recovery, Our Lady of Lourdes Catholic Church, New York. Current status, a low-value storage locker at Site 77. Uh, it is a low-value storage locker at Site 77. Okay, then. Item description, a wireless computer mouse that produces a stock coconut hit sound every time any functional part of the mouse is pressed. That would get really annoying really quickly. Date of recovery, sometime in the 2000s. Location of recovery, Best Buy brand store in Lynn, Massachusetts. Current status, currently in the production, currently in possession of Robin. Item description, a bubble-eyed goldfish in a plastic bag full of water for ages, scratched. It doesn't age unless it's removed from its bag. Date of recovery, 07/12/1970 blank. Location of recovery, Town Fair in blank, Alabama. Current status, in animal containment at site blank. Scratched. Immediately died when removed from plastic bag. Impromptu funeral given to item as requested by researcher blank. Item description, a pumpkin with the face of SCP-173 doesn't rot or age. Substance that was found inside the pumpkin was revealed to be blood and feces similar to that produced by SCP-173. On Halloween, a lit candle appeared inside the item. Date of recovery, 10/31/2007. Location of recovery, suburban home in blank, North Carolina. Current status, contained at Site 19. Placed in Site 19's break room during the month of October. Item description, a barren field with the exception of 4 gymnosperm trees, similar in appearance to that of pine trees. These trees are incapable of being subject to damage, including being. Oh my good lord. What is this sentence? These trees are incapable of being subject to damage, including being put ablaze. Who phrases a sentence that way? Good lord. Every year on December 25th, strange sensations again. The tree will undergo a change in appearance, being decorated and commonly used for oh my god, this sentence. Oh my god, how did this get approved? I guess anomalous items don't need to get approval to stay on this. This is god awful. All right. Every year on December 25th, the tree will undergo a change in appearance, being, I assume it's meaning to say, being decorated in commonly used Christmas decorations and will be coated in a thin layer of snow. Oh, God, ferocious. Date of recovery 12/25/1987. Location of recovery an abandoned field in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Current status the objects are incapable of being moved and are to be maintained at their location of origin. Good Lord. Item description a DVD for the animated film Shrek, where the voices of the characters Shrek and Donkey are switched. No other changes are present. Location of recovery Blockbuster brand video store in Blank, Colorado. Current status in storage. Item description a member of the species Hosanella septemtata, seven-spotted ladybird, whose spots form a random shape every day at noon. Recorded shapes include a circle, square, triangle, and a nonagon. Number of dots change to accommodate number of sides. Tens of dots making a complete circle. Okay. Date of recovery, sometime in the 2000s. Location of recovery, greenhouse in Webb, Mississippi. Current status, in animal containment at Site 23. Item description, a blank brand AAA battery that never runs out of power. Location of recovery, Wells City, Nevada. Current status, in storage. Anomalous items 441 through 450. Item description, a green 100-page college-ruled notebook filled with a series of paragraphs and equations describing how to calculate -0. Date of recovery, 12/15/2000 blank. Location of recovery, in the office of the recently deceased Dr. Blank. Current status, located in the extra-dimensional research laboratory for use in calculations. Note, Dr. Blank's death was a suicide, presumably due to stress. It is believed he wanted to finish these calculations before he died, and that he wanted us to find the item. Okay. Item description. A wooden picnic table with the words periodic table carved into it. It appears to completely disappear and reappear at random intervals in its previous position. Date of recovery, blank, blank, 2018. Location of recovery, abandoned science lab, thought to be used for an Are We Cool Yet display. Current status, in storage, outlined to be marked by tape to prevent other items from being stored in its area of effect. That's awesome. I mean, that's at least a good joke. Unlike most of the Are We Cool Yet stuff, like that joke actually lands, so I appreciate it. Item description a CNC children's toy consisting of a pale pink plastic case with 12 images of animals around the face. Common theme below the image. A rotating pointer in the center of the case and a pull string on the left side, generally consistent with known non-anomalous examples of the toy in multiple manufacturers. Animal images are well-known animals commonly kept as livestock or pets in North America and Europe. When an animal is selected with the pointer and string pulled, a high-fidelity recording of a female voice can be heard speaking the operator's native language, the name of selected animal says, followed by an animal sound entirely unrelated to any of the animals portrayed on the device. Any subject operating the device will become firmly and unshakably convinced that the sound produced matches the animal image selected. Treatment with targeted Class C amnestics are effective at removing the anomalous effect. Date of recovery, blank 09. This is year, day, month, or sorry, year, month, day format. Peculiar. Location of recovery, preschool classroom at Gatewood Elementary in blank blank. Current status, Site 23, low security storage wing. Additional notes. As of over 1,100 distinct animal sounds have been produced by the device and recorded for research purposes, 334 of which have been conclusively identified. All of the identified animal sounds have been confirmed to belong to species on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, classed between vulnerable and extinct in the wild. Disassembly of the device for research purposes did not nullify the anomalous effect, but did turn up a small paper label pasted inside the plastic shell, reading, "Under Wondertainment. Let's hear them before they disappear. Prototype G7." Nice. Item description. A set of 9 blank brand Halloween ghost costumes. When worn, subjects will believe themselves to be ghosts and proceed to act in a manner consistent with depictions of ghosts in children's animated programs, producing frequent "woo" or "boo" vocalizations. After 22 minutes, subjects gains the ability to move through any and all solid, non-anomalous objects at will. Costumes can be removed from stationary subjects with little effort, and subjects can be induced to voluntarily remove costume by speaking some variation of "take that silly costume off" within hearing of the subject. Anomalous effects cease immediately upon removing costume, while subject retains full memory of said effects. Data recovery, blank 1031. Location of recovery, blank thrift store in blank Oregon. Current status, all 9 instances held at Site 206. 8 instances of item are stored in High Security Vault 98. 1 instance of item currently undergoing examination in Research and Development Laboratory, Sigma. If we can nullify the cognitive effect while retaining the physical effect, these would be invaluable tactical equipment for field agents. Dr. S. Roxatani. Rakastop. My bad. Item description. A glass mason jar filled with an unknown or opaque red substance with the consistency of peanut butter that emits the song "No Love" by the group Death Grips on repeat at 46 Hz. When removed, the substance will inevitably return to the jar. Date of recovery, 9/9/2013. Location of recovery, blank, Vermont. Current status, locked in a storage refrigerator. Note, we tried to remove the substance to see if there was a speaker inside. Nothing. We still don't know how it's playing the song. Dr. Blank. That seems like the least important thing of this whole thing. All right. Item description. 1/2 the shell of a Pacific geoduck, Panopea generosa, with a common nail of unknown make stuck in its center. It is impossible to remove the nail, and the shell is indestructible. Date of recovery, 10/16/2004. Location of recovery, Revere Beach in Revere, Massachusetts. Current status, in storage. Item description, a can of blank brand soda. It immediately begins begging to not have its contents consumed whenever placed within 5 inches of an open human mouth. If the contents of the can are consumed, the voice begins screaming in pain and crying. No audio device has been found inside the can. Voice grows weaker as the can gets closer to being empty. Filling the can with any sort of liquid replenishes the strength of the voice. Date of recovery, 05/21/2005. Location of recovery, blank, Iowa. Current status, in storage. Item description, a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter cube of concrete with the name Humphrey Caroline carved into it. Any water that is poured on the surface of the cube immediately vaporizes, producing a cloud of steam from the cube. Whenever any amount of liquid greater than or equal to 1 liter is poured onto its surface, the object will change from gray to sky blue for 2 hours. Date of recovery, blank, blank, 1994. Location of recovery, blank, Kentucky. Current status, in low value anomaly wing at site blank. Caroline. All right. No, that's a maybe a reference I don't get, or it's not a reference at all. Item description. An indestructible Amazon brand cardboard box that, when photographed, shows a domestic cat sitting inside. The text, "If it fits, I sits," appears in Comic Sans font, regardless of the device used. Date of recovery, blank 15, 2018. Location of recovery, post office in Greenbelt City, Maryland. Current status, in storage. Item description, a brown rat with human teeth. Teeth are absurdly large for the rat's mouth, and its snout is heavily disfigured due to this. Rat was immediately killed by only a witness, who was given Class A amnestics. Date of recovery, 12/07, 2004. Location of recovery, alleyway in New York City, New York. Current status, body is kept in cryogenic storage at Site 23. Alrighty. I think that is where we will end that. So we will cut this here, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.